was proven in court that there was no interference. Mike Pence, the response. There's a very interesting story that happened here in Israel where a secular man was not doing well and he was sick, and he appealed to various organizations to help him out for the coming holiday of Shavuos, which is starting tonight. And almost no organization responded to him except one organization called Chasdei Yosef, which is a Haredi, an ultra-Orthodox organization. They gave him a lot of vouchers to help him prepare for the holiday. The person who visited him, his family member, who was also secular, he saw that the only organization that helped him was this ultra-Orthodox organization. And even though this man had been in many protests against the ultra-Orthodox, he said his views changed. He wrote a letter to them, to Chasdei Yosef. He said his views have changed. And it's true, among the ultra-Orthodox, Satmar is very known for helping distribute a lot of food and necessities for people in hospitals. So even though in some aspects ultra-Orthodox culture is a little more stringent, they do a lot of good things. Ron DeSantis' campaign for the 2024 presidency got off to an awful start yesterday. He launched his campaign on Twitter in a conversation with Elon Musk. There were various failures. There was an over-flooding of Twitter, and the audio wasn't very good, and the overall presentation wasn't very good. They had to set up a different link. In the meantime, Joe Biden capitalized on this and sent out a tweet saying you can donate to his cause over here. This link actually works. I think the reason DeSantis launched his campaign on Twitter specifically is because Twitter is part of social media, which appeals to the younger generation. One of the appeals that Ron DeSantis has over Donald Trump, Donald Trump is in his late 70s and Ron DeSantis is in his 50s. Part of his campaign is to tell people, let's go a little younger. Younger generation uses social media a lot more, and that's why I think he did it on Twitter. There are various talks going around that Kyrie Irving could be a possibility for the Lakers next season. Of course, Kyrie Irving paired with LeBron James to win a title in 2016. People say it's a good pairing, better than Russell Westbrook this season. Of course, the Lakers would have to sign him to a big contract and essentially have the rest of their roster consist of people that are getting the minimum wage in basketball in the NBA. I think personally that it's pretty much the same thing Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic that failed utterly in Dallas. Kyrie Irving needs the ball in his hand all the time. Prolific scorer, needs the ball in his hand all the time. Luka Doncic as well. LeBron James, earlier in his career, was more pass happy, was a faster player, didn't hold the ball for too long. Now, in the last couple of years, he's scored the most in his whole career. He needs the ball in his hand too, like Luka Doncic. I think a duo like that would not be good, just like with Russell Westbrook. NVIDIA Corporation announced its quarter one earnings, and it beat estimates by a lot. In the pre-market, NVIDIA stock is up almost $75, which is about a 25% increase. And after they reported quarter four earnings from last year, the stock boomed about $20. It's now up to around $380 in the pre-market, which is its highest ever. The reason it's so high is because it's one of the most prolific makers of chips, semiconductors, which are really important to running a lot of things. Computers, any type of mobile device, any type of cars, they're essential, and gaming, they're essential. Even AMD, a rival company, stock went up based on these reports. I think it's not the right time to buy right now. This is the highest it's going to go down. The stock market as a whole is not doing so good right now. Do not buy. I don't think you should buy these stocks right now. Maybe buy before quarter two earnings report. I saw a story that PlayStation Pro 5, which is yet to come out, could fetch a pretty hefty price tag in the range of $600 or $700, which is a lot for a video game system. Of course, the demand will be high. I think with social media in this generation taking over the younger generation, specifically millennials and Generation Z, the world has shifted from basically talking face to face to basically the main method of conversation is digitally through these social media platforms, which makes people stay at home, and people on their spare time are going to play more video games, especially the younger generation. So I think the demand for video games is going up, ratcheting up, and I think a lot of people will buy at this price. If you look at YouTube, a lot of the biggest channels are gaming channels. I don't play video games at all, but this is what the younger generation is into with the proliferation of social media.